So today we're going to be talking about, channels of distribution available to a seller. So this is within the 4Ps within place, as you know, or maybe not. Place is about distributing the right product or service to the customer at the right place and at the right time. So there are multiple channels of distribution available to a seller. So you've got the traditional method, which is the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the retailer to the customer. This would suit items that are manufactured in large amounts and that are not very expensive. For example, chocolate bars. They'd be sold in large quantities to a wholesaler, and then they break it down in bulk and sell the bars in smaller quantities to retailers. Then they would then sell them to individual customers. And you might think this is a bit weird because, each of these people have to take a cut. The consumer has to have a chocolate bar, the retailer has to have some money made via that chocolate bar, the wholesaler has to make some money via that, and so does the manufacturer. So at the end of the day, the manufacturer might be making a load of profits at the end of the day, and that might mean the wholesaler is adding so much on. Like a chocolate bar might only cost a couple of cents, and by the time the wholesaler, retailer, and everybody else adds their little profit onto it and adds their, and keep in mind, it's not just their profit, it's also all their costs as well. Like, it's not just like, oh yes, we want to be rich, so we're going to make a load of profit out of this. It's also just covering costs, because costs are expensive a lot of the time when you're shipping these things. It's not the item itself that's expensive. It's just the cost of shipping and everything. So, and you have an alternative method, which is where you have the manufacturer, the retailer, the consumer. So this is where it suits more expensive items. These are not sold in large volumes. So this would be where a retailer would purchase an item such as, garden machinery. For example, let's say a lawnmower. They buy a lawnmower direct from manufacturer, and then they don't buy it through a wholesaler though, because the company would not be able to buy large amounts of them all at once. It just wouldn't be, because it would be very expensive, and then it wouldn't be able to do anyway at a benefit from a lower price, because the price that you'd be getting would be around the same. Therefore, they, wouldn't really benefit from actually having a middleman there, because, a middleman would just be taking a cut. And then that shop can then order direct for similar prices, to what they're going to cost them. So, then you have the more direct version. This is manufacturer to consumer. This would suit shops that have established brand or good online presence. If they've lots of likes on the social media pages and on the website, it is easier for them to launch an online store and sell directly to customers. It removes intermediaries and increases profits. However, would you consider me providing videos for you to be the manufacturer going to the customer? Because you have to go to YouTube, but YouTube is technically taking a cut of the video. It's just saying, okay, well, if there's ads in this video, we're going to take a cut of that. And then you also have to consider payment processing, because if I deal with a payment processor online, I might be bringing up a lot of costs just to process payments, and they are obviously going to bring a little bit of a strain on the area. Next on the channels of distribution, you have, of course, the agent. Now, the agent is a method whereby the manufacturer, as a business, decides to use an agent to sell its products to consumer. It can be useful when a customer wants to have a package of goods or services. So, like a travel agent sells flights, and all these sorts of things. So, like, if you have these sorts of things, it can help as well if you have sort of a system. But the one problem, of course, is that it sometimes can be very expensive. Some might even take 30%, 40%, something like that, and that's a high percentage of sales, really, for essentially a service which Sometimes the only thing you're really supplying is the name, you know. So then you have the implications for small business of using direct channels to sell its products. So basically, a direct channel of distribution means that the business sells straight to the customer without the use of a wholesale or retailers. It sells through online platforms and then uses postal or courier services to deliver the items. Or, you know, it doesn't have these other things. But there are benefits, of course, to it, which are lower overheads. A business can use a factory or warehouse that is not in a prime location. They don't need to rent out expensive property in the middle of a town like a shop might have to do. They can in fact actually build a warehouse as long as they can get planning permission. They can technically build a warehouse, and that way you cut down on all costs of finding anything or anything like that. And that can really cut down profit. It can really cut down on cost. You also have the potential global reach, because the business would only be able to operate locally. If it's only able to operate locally, if it opens a shop online, however, it can increase its potential market, as a website can theoretically be accessed worldwide. Obviously, they will need to expect there to be, you'll need to have things in place where you can ship worldwide. You also have the ability to make it 24/7. So, as if you hire enough staff, you can make it so the customers can browse and purchase items at any time of the day. So if they're busy, they can do it on their sofa, or they can, just do it in the middle of the night, or, anytime really. Now comes the theoretical thing, which is that you have a higher rate of profit. Now, business does not have to factor in the costs of other intermediaries. So none of these kind of things we've got, wholesalers, retailers, and that stuff, they are now gone. Now, some businesses will still sell to them, but they'll also have their own direct selling method. So direct selling tends to increase profit per an item sold that the business can actually keep. Because if you look at a product, the business that actually produced the product might, sell that product, and, they might make very little profit, because if they sell to a big company and they're a small one, if they're a very small company and they sell to a massive one that has loads of shops all around the place and maybe even has its own online shop itself, then obviously your online shop might be competing with them. Then they are now kind of competing with this, because it's like, well, we can't really sell this and demand that we get a nice big cut. This company might say, no, we're gonna keep this, and we're gonna charge an extra 40%, and we're gonna make sure that you keep your prices low for us so that we can put them up. Now, the challenges for a small startup business of choosing a direct channel of distribution is that it's hard to become known. It's all well and good if you're a big name company. If you're a big name company, yeah, most big name companies, that sell goods can generally start up an online business fairly easily. They can advertise that online business, for free on their packaging. They can do all sorts of things. They can encourage people to go online by basically, saying, well, we can cut costs by not having staff, so let's go online, and all these sort of things. And you can use that so that you can have like sales and all sorts of things online, but that they won't have in general shops. There's also an increased cost to the customer, however. See, postage and packaging costs might be transferred to the customer, as they would be so expensive when starting out, although large competitors might be able to offer things like free delivery, and this places the business at a disadvantage. Another issue is that if you are a business and you don't have your own shipping, you might be, going, oh yeah, we have our own products, we have our own staff, all sorts of things. The products are designed by us. We don't buy the designs off somebody else and then, do all this. But then it comes all the way up to there. And while you don't technically have a retailer or a wholesaler, you might have a company that does all your shipping. And they might go, well, no, we want to charge €5 per product shipped. And you might go, well, that's ludicrous. It doesn't cost you €5. They go, well, yeah, but we want to make €5. So tough. And it can be hard to pull it out of a contract like that. You know, if you, because sometimes it's hard to get someone who agrees to that, agrees to just sit for you, So it also brings in the problem of in-store competitors. If the business is for a more mainstream good, lots of rivals might be in retail stores, so it might not be competing for sales in stores. This might make it hard for the business to gain new customers who can more conveniently purchase items in store when they're doing their shopping. There's also a loss of expertise, because as the business is starting out, it may lack the experience in selling directly, which could lead to, problems later on the line. If it uses an indirect channel of distribution, established reputable wholesalers and retailers might be, not necessarily give feedback or advice, but they might give suggestions, and they might also, because they're there to keep their profits on the line, so they want to have they want to have your price be the cheapest for them, in a way. Not always, sometimes they don't care. So this can obviously go down subtly. There is also the problem of contracts, because if you've got a contract with a wholesaler which states you will not sell directly, or you'll sell only to them, then obviously this means that you can't go, first of all, you can't go to somebody else, and you also can't go to online or in store. You can't sell directly, which is obviously, important to be aware of. Like, some businesses will have already signed a contract there, and then that might be a problem. Now, in some cases, this contract might be a bit dodgy, and it might not be accurate legally, so obviously, I prefer to get out that way. But the fact of the matter is, there is a fear there, which is that, you could land up being stuck in a contract like that. So there's that area there, which is, if you are stuck in a contract, what do you do then? Anyway, so the area you have, though, is that there's also implications for small businesses using large retailers to sell products. And really, that is what we'll be talking about in the next video. So you can join us then, or view other videos, or you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be helpful, as would viewing other videos. Thank you if you do, and if not, that's fine. And if you're not gonna look at the next video or look at more videos or anything like that, well, I guess bye bye, and enjoy the rest of your existence, I guess. Yeah. Bye bye.